check this out. The circulation is now 3.7 miles, approximately 3.5 miles west of town. It's moving to the east at about 35 miles per hour. And we'll go back to our next rad mode. Drop this out just a little bit so we get a little bit more perspective on this storm. And the Doppler radar, here's some more concern now with this, because the Doppler radar, we have this in a special mode, which indicates where the worst part of the thunderstorm is located. And we're indicating now 100 mile per hour winds, 100 mile per hour winds going into Horizon. And that obviously can do a lot of damage, whether it's a tornado or not. Let's check out the storm relative velocities here. That's just indication that all we're looking at are the raindrops. We can actually see the motion of the raindrops here. The green's indicating a strong rotation, a strong airflow towards the radar, the red's away. And there's that circulation center right here. Still no confirmation. We're checking with Horizon. Let's hope that this thing is not on the ground and that this is just a funnel cloud. But I want everybody to take this extremely seriously, because 100 mile per hour winds, if that does reach the surface, it'll cause quite a bit of damage. So please stay away from windows. Go back here, and some hail more than likely on the north side of the circulation that'll be heading up the southern parts of Jefferson County. I have noticed as well with the Ivan, there could have been a little more circulation back there, but it seems like that has been dying out just a little bit. And the main area of concern is in northern parts of Cleveland County, north of Fordyce. Give a little perspective, High Bluff is located there in the upper right-hand portion of your screen. And on this storm's current path, it'll stay just to the south of Pine Bluff and go in the northern parts of Lincoln County. We'll go and back to our traditional radar mode here, reflectivity, and do another storm track on this. Again, we are just within about a mile or two now of this moving into Horizon. Moving towards the east now at about 30 miles per hour. Here's some new times. Horizon right now it is 2:32. Mount Zion at 2:41. And Glendale at 2:58. Star City at about 3:11. I'm going to hesitate here just for a little bit to look and see if we have any new information coming out. And no, there's no confirmation of anything on the ground still. Turn up your TV sets as you go to your safe place, and so you can continue to hear our coverage here. As this circulation, the rotation within this thunderstorm continues to move off toward the east at about 35 miles per hour. 100 mile per hour winds is indicated by a severe weather feature we have on our Doppler radar, our 5.5 Doppler radars, moving into this portion of the state. And this will not too long from now be crossing into Lincoln County. As we said, Star City, you've got about a little less than 30 minutes warning, before this starts to move into your general direction. Mount Zion, we'll put a motion on this if you're watching this from there, it's going to be awfully close. It may just stay south of Mount Zion. We hope it goes between Horizon and Mount Zion, but go back to our live Doppler radar. We are now within the circulation is now, according to our Doppler radar, we're getting a fresh sweep through here, 1.5 miles west of town now. Now it's 1.4 miles west of Horizon, 1.4, so about 1.5 miles west of town. And that, what you just saw was our live Doppler radar sweeping through there and looking at that circulation center as it pushed through, this is pushing just west of town there. Let's go here. We're looking at another mode here, looking at shear within this thunderstorm. This is picking up winds close to 92 miles per hour as it moves into town. And I'll show you some of the, whenever we see this, these arrows here, it's a red arrow, and Doppler radar has a bad habit of placing these arrows. The red arrow indicates a Doppler radar indicated tornado. It has a bad habit of placing it north of the circulation center. It's really right here, and it's now showing shear about 103 miles per hour, and the width of the circulation is 8 miles in diameter. Very impressive, something we don't want to see here. Very impressive rotation moving into Horizon. And so far it's so good. We don't have any phone calls or any reports of anything on the ground right now, but we want to just stick with you right now because this is, I know that's a lot of nerves down there, and we want you to, we're just looking out for you. We know that there's a threat to life or property. We apologize for interrupting programming, but we know several thousand people right now are watching this and a little worried about what's happening here. And when I see this type of circulation, we saw it yesterday moving through Madison and Newton County. There was a very strong circulation that produced confirmed from city officials. We do have some damage now in Rising, power outages. We don't know the true extent of that. That could be just thunderstorm winds. We don't know if it was caused by the tornado, if there was a tornado. But we are now getting reports. Yeah, we're now getting some reports of damage. We hope that it's nothing serious and that this is some minor stuff. But when you see this on the Doppler radar, it's right over Rising now. It's directly over Rising. So if you just bear with us here for a little bit, it's going to pass overhead, and we'll be able to sound the out all clear here in a few minutes. And then we're going to start to worry about Star City as this holds together. Let's go and check out, again, this data that you're looking at here is about 6 minutes old. I want to emphasize that. It's 6 minutes old, but it tells you what to expect. So that's why this is so important. 100-mile-per-hour winds. If you look at that blob and just move it to the east a few miles over Rising, there's a possibility of about 100-mile-per-hour winds. And this is the data that we look at as far as air moving towards the radar and away from the radar. And that's the counterclockwise circulation, low pressure, which in the northern hemisphere rotates counterclockwise. And that's the rotation right over town. So Mount Zion, I want everybody in their safe places. Star City, I want everybody there in their safe places. As far as Rising is concerned, the circulation is now on the east side of town. It's right over you. Let's go in and I'll do a couple streets. That's Rice Street. It's Highway 133 heading to the east. Main Street. Unfortunately, this is going right over downtown Rising right now and to the east. And this is NEXRAD radar we're showing right now. NEXRAD radar, I'm getting a new tornado warning. Make sure I get this. Okay, that's a continuation of what we're getting right now. That's just a continuation of this warning. Star City, like we've been telling you, we want you to be ready for this. This storm still continues to show impressive rotation. I was hoping by now it would start to show signs of diminishing, but it is not. And in and around Rising, we're indicated shear around 81 miles per hour. Like I told you, this red arrow indicates, that's the Doppler radar indicating, it's telling us with that red arrow, hey, I see a tornado, but it has a bad habit of placing it well north of the circulation. But it is showing that the storm has a top of almost 40,000 feet. It does have a very high chance of having hail, 3/4 of an inch in diameter. And this is now telling us as a storm, this end of the storm moving to the east-northeast at 22 miles per hour has a max hail size of 1.5 inches. That's very common on the north sides of these rotation centers to have hail that size. That's very common, and when you have large updrafts and downdrafts. I hesitate to sound the all clear right now for Rising, but it does appear, according to NEXRAD, that the circulation is on top of Rising. But like I told you, this data is just a few minutes old. So Palmer and Glendale, I want you to take your tornado precautions right now. Ralph, you're going to be on the very southern fringe of this. You may experience some very strong winds out of the south. Are we checking more with Rising? Just to let everybody know, if you're joining us, we now have reports of damage in Rising. At this point, we don't have the extent of the damage, but Lincoln County is telling us that. What's that? Okay. I'm not quite sure how Lincoln County got that information, but they talk okay. And I'm sure everybody in Rising, the city officials there and then the police officials are taking shelter. But that's what we are getting told here in the Channel 7 newsroom from Lincoln County, is that there is damage, and our Doppler radar continues to indicate strong rotation within this thunderstorm. I'm going to back out just a little bit. We're going to do another storm track because this is moving towards the east at 30 miles per hour. Just looking to make sure that we have the correct speed when I do this track to give you the most accurate information. But it's moving to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So that means we're talking about Palmer at about 2:51, so you have a little bit more than 10 minutes route, 2:53. Glendale, and there's Star City. Now we're projecting Star City, if the circulation, the rotation holds together, Star City at about 3:12 this afternoon. York